Alright, we are recording. And, well, I'm still working on the assigned reading written reviews, backlog there. So I'm not doing new videos for that yet, and I still want videos coming out. So I guess it's been a month since the last cover impressions video. Still need to come up with a better name for that, but in any case, figure why not try doing that again? And try doing it the way I originally wanted to do it, which is instead of pre-selecting titles, just, have it open and look at them. So I've got Barnes Noble here, Kobo, and Amazon. And actually, hang on, let me turn on scripts there so that'll render a bit better. But yeah, so let's look at this. Unfortunately, some of these with Barnes Noble, I already saw them. They were actually there last month. So even though I didn't use them in that video, I had already seen Murder for Holly House, Callie, Hart, Brimstone, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Party Pooper. Mona's Eyes, I guess I could talk about as well as the Dogman. There's also these I could look at. Was this... I'm trying to remember, did I include this one? I know I looked at it and talked about it, but I don't remember if that made it into the final video. I'm curious. I'm curious about something here. Let me grab that. So these are supposed to be special editions, right? Is it a different cover? Not really. Same content there. But I guess, since I have this open, why not look at it? Alright, so Lights Out, an Into Darkness novel. Navessa Allen. The couple who stays together. Okay, well, even before I read the little subtitle here, I was already figuring this is probably some kind of murder mystery thing. I mean, an Into Darkness novel, that sounds like it could be fantasy, but the skull there, nah, that seems more aligned with this being about murder. Yeah, so the couple stays together. Basically answers that question. Lights Out, I guess, is just, the metaphorical, you're killed, so your lights are out. See, now I'm just thinking about the X and the heart there. If I didn't know about the couple aspect too there, because, it kind of makes me think that it is, like, one is looking for the murders, the X's, the other is just in it because they love the other person. I don't know. I'm okay with the cover itself, though. Yeah, we do get this other stuff around that not the biggest fan of, because it seems kind of frilly, but it's still the focus. The focus very strongly is just on the skull. So it is still there, but then it's just, you start looking out from just the skull, and you see all these other things. It's a bit much. But here, let me... I do think that this looks better, though. I will say that the so kind of inverted there. I think it does pop a little bit better, because it's also helping to subdue the stuff around the outside. I think having it look like this. Yeah, so I do like this cover better. Let's look at the blurb, because it's, well, the couple who stays together. That one just kind of tells us a fair amount there, but yeah, I'm okay with this title. I'm not sure if it's I'd want to buy it. I'm not sure if I'd want to put it on a wish list, which does remind me, I did put that alchemized book on my wish list, so I will try to look at that at some point. I got lots of books to go through first, so I haven't purchased it yet, but it is on my wish list, because I did like that one. It did look interesting, did sound interesting from the blurb last month. So let's look. What do we got here? Okay, I'm going to change that. I don't need talking about, hey, it's a nice new hardcover. So, dark romance, yeah, I already figured that. The piles on the banter, the tension, the spice, and what have you laughing out loud to the very end. Okay, that's reduced my interest. I'm not saying it's turned off my interest, but it has reduced it. Here's why. Because we'll have you laughing out loud to the very end. It's like, the couple who stays together. I don't expect murder to have me laughing. Okay, it's... And how that a dark romance piles on the man tensions, and even from this, it doesn't tell you that it is actually, that there's going to be any kind of murder in there. It's just a dark romance. It's like, okay. I'm just trying to think what other stories, looking at my movies, but not many of my movies would actually be dark romances. I mean, kind of sort of The Apartment, but not quite. But it's just, that doesn't imply anything about murder. So I this one sentence blurb I do have issues with because it doesn't seem to tie in with the subtitle up there. And it's like romance with banter. It's like, yeah, that goes along with it. Tension, yeah, that goes along with it. Spice, it can go along with it. Doesn't always have to, but yeah. But laughing until the very end, and it's like, yeah, this doesn't quite align with this. So, alright, let's keep going. Viral TikToker stalker dark romance. TikTok stalker dark romance. I don't care about TikTok. So that is technically already proving a little bit of a problem. Burning with high heat. Burning with high heat. Burning on high heat, I would think, but I mean, yeah. Hilarious banter and a love story like you've never seen before. Can you handle the ride? It's okay. See, now at this point, I am turned off from being interested, which is kind of sad because I mean, it's like I look at that, and are there some elements of that cover image that do seem kind of female coded? Yeah, but as I was saying before, you know, with that skull there and how it's like that's the primary thing. Draw my attention there and then look out. That is more so how I would think a man would analyze cover images. I'm not just saying because I am a man. But you still have, you know, the stuff around, the frilly stuff around the borders. But it's like, it's subdued enough. It's popping here. The other cover, as I said, I think that's better. But it's still, it's like that tells you that there's both. But then it's the couple who slays it. It's like, okay, there's a man and a woman in this most likely. So, okay, that explains it. So it's like, all right, yeah, does the cover completely connect with me? No, but I have the context here. Okay, this still has potential though. But then it's, you know, dark romance again, but burning with high heat. It's like, hilarious banter. It's like, will there be banter in a couple, in a relationship? Yes, but you keep pushing it, and a love story like you've never seen before. Where's the slay together thing? I mean, it's like, the murder stuff is actually where it could be far more interesting. It's also where it could be dark, and you're like, you're just dropping the word dark. You're not telling me anything about it that makes me actually interested. Or rather, continues my interest. So yeah, basically, nothing I've read here actually aligns with the image I was forming in my mind, which wasn't much of an image, I will grant. Like, not very expansive. But it doesn't tie in with the cover. So I will look at this because it's still italicized, but I'm not bothering past that. I want someone with a soul as black as night. No. I'm sorry. It's just the whole... This is supposed to be dark romance. I want somebody with a soul as black as night. And it's like, you are not an emotionally healthy person? I don't think I'm all that interested. Someone who would burn the whole world down for me and not lose a single minute of sleep over it. Nope. I mean, don't get me wrong. I get the whole... You would want somebody in a spouse who is tremendously dedicated to you. But, and you know, potentially if the world need to be burned down, yes, would do it. But that doesn't mean that should be oh yes, because you only think about me, you'll do that. It's like, no, I'm gonna need more reasons than that. I mean, if it's like the world is trying to, you know, destroy you, and you know, you're my wife, then yeah, I'll burn down the whole world for that. But if you're just saying, honey, I want the world to be burned down, it's like, I'm out of here. I mean, it's like, what the hell's wrong with you? So yeah, this is... The blurb itself is what killed that for me. Alright, yeah, I didn't talk about that one before. I don't think I talked about this one, so let me pull that one up too, just for the fun of it. Yeah, one issue with it being December, we're getting so many that are just, like, you know, our best kind of stuff. Let me pull up these as well. I'll try to go through, I'll just go through these quickly, because the Correspondent It's like, and you've got the two birds. I actually kind of like this. Because, I mean, just first look, the artwork itself is a little child. It almost looks like something I could expect. Well, here, what is the term? Primitive? It almost looks like that. Like it is something close to what a child would be capable of. But I'm also looking at it far enough back that I'm like not seeing any real texture to this bird over here. But it still is the correspondent. Two birds here. I'm thinking like carrier pigeon kind of thing. So it's like, okay, this is, I'm not seeing anything here that say I'm out kind of thing. Say I can, it's like, it is the correspondent though, not the correspondence. But it could still be something about a relationship, romantic or not, with another person, and it's just, the going back and forth there. Like part of the story we get in Shop Around the Corner. So yeah, we'll see. One thing though, they see a cause for celebration. What is? I mean, a funeral is a cause for celebration as well. Somebody, because you're celebrating somebody's life with that. I mean, it's like, if that's the best you got, yeah, that's concerning. I mean, unless it is, I think I've heard the name Ann Patchett, but if I don't know that name, then this means absolutely nothing to me. All right, let's quickly look at who we are with different people is really up to us, and Sybil channels different parts of herself into the letters she writes. One moment. Yep, that's what I thought. So, this, I'm just trying to think how best to put this. Once I saw the name, okay, let me just go back. Who we are with different people is up to us. Kind of, sort of. Don't need to get into the psychology of that. And Sybil channels different parts of herself into the letters she writes. Okay, so Sybil, and it's like, I have a memory. I remember something about the name Sybil. Let me check. Yeah. So there was a book from 1973 called Sybil about a woman with dissociative identity disorder, also known as multiple personality disorder. That's not to suggest that this book will not be good, but it's just an immediate, to me, this seems somewhat derivative. And I'm a little concerned there. Well, not a little concerned, I'm medium concerned. Not big concerned, but medium. A journey of growing older, healing, and reluctantly embracing the winds of change. This reflective and funny read is perfect for it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pronounce that with the speech impediment. Epistolary fans, would that be right? I'm just unsure about the right sound for the O there. Epistolary? I mean, it shouldn't be that far off, I hope, but yeah. It is definitely that note there, note from the bookseller is definitely this is for women, which I mean makes sense. Virginia Evans seemed to be a woman's name, and Ann Patchett talking about it, it's like Ann and Virginia. Yeah, not too surprising there, but it's still just that being Sybil Warren concerns me a little bit. I also, there's another aspect to it there as well, is that, okay, but what's the point of the story? Is it just we're following somebody through a time period, or is it that something happens? It's the written word and the beauty of slowing down to reconnect with the people we love. Yeah, there's nothing here connecting it to me, because I still, what is the point of it? I mean, if it is just a story, somebody's story, it's like, okay, sure. That's not really for me. Now I want to look at this one. And this was just what is this? So always remember we got a horse, a kid, a fox, and I can't quite tell what the other is. Oh, a mole. Okay, the boy, the mole, the fox, the horse, and the storm. Alright. I'm not seeing anything here to actually it does seem that this should be for children, based on that artwork. Let's see what the description is here. Okay. Nice gives the world a new story starring the beloved quartet, life-affirming modern tale about the importance of friendship, love, vulnerability, and perseverance. Okay. They do know life can be difficult, but they love each other, and cake is often the answer. Nah. I'm not feeling this. I mean, the cover itself, it does make me think, oh, this could be a children's story. It might be a good one. I mean, at least it's reminding me of older books that I may have read as a kid, or at least seen and knew that they were targeting me. But the blurbs here, until you get to like this portion here, I got nothing. I got no clue what we're talking about here. Here, let me look over here, see if the blurb is different. Not really. So yeah, I'm not liking this. Because I don't know what this book is about. Is it? I mean, it seems like it might be aimed for kids, but I would want to know some of what's in this before I'd ever want to buy it and potentially give it to a kid to read. It's like, okay, well, what's going on here? Why is it appropriate for kids? I mean, it's like you're telling us what other people think of it. It's like I want to know. But the importance of friendship, love, vulnerability, and perseverance. It's like, well, there's also importance of vulnerability. Whew. I mean, don't get me wrong. There can be some important things there, but I'm just. Do you want that? I wouldn't think I'd want that touted as something in the book, as something in the story. Because I'm just thinking, I got one. It is a kid's book over on my shelf there. No More Dead Dogs. Let's just see. Pull it. Here. Like, this is also the specific cover that I have. And hang on just a second. I just want to be able to show you the back of it where we do have the dog is standing up and in fact is wearing glasses even. So it is yes, the dog is lying down dead on the front, but you see the back, like, no, he's just fine. And with the glasses on, so it's like he's reading it too. But yeah. Comes a hilarious middle school story about a boy's shenanigans to advocate for the unsung heroes of classic literature, dogs, obviously. It's like, right there already, along with the title, No More Dead Dogs, it's like, okay, I now know what the story is about. And it's still talking about how, yes, it's Gordon Korman, which I don't know if it's true anymore, but for at least my generation, Gordon Korman was basically, that's who wrote it, that's going to be a fun book to read for a kid. Okay, it is. And I love this book. It's such a good book. Yeah, so it's like, but right there, you're promoting that's Gordon Korman, who, by the way, also knows his name is not bigger than the title. Just want to point that out. But it's like, you already get a boy's shenanigans to advocate for the unsung hero of classic literature, dogs. And it's just like, yeah, you're already telling me some about this. And it's like, okay, let's go with this. So you just like see that. And it's like, okay, let me read on about this. Let me know more about this. And to help explain, well, here, let me just keep going here before I just spoil it. Wallace, yes, it is his name, won't lie, not even to avoid detention. And after he handed in a scorching book report of old Shep, my pal, detention is just what he's been handed. The reluctant school football hero is sure he's done nothing wrong. He hated every minute of that book, especially when the dog dies in the end. Why do dogs always die in the end? That is also part of the story very much. Like, what is at the start is he tries to turn it in, it's like, no, I'm not going to accept this book report. It's like, why not? It's true, but how did you know that the dog was going to die? Because there's a dog on the book cover. Is his answer. It's like, what? Every time there's a book that has a dog on the cover, you know the dog is going to die by the end. And it's like, where's the fault in his logic? And he hates the book because that's how he goes at it. And he won't lie. And that also gets explained, by the way. But it is, and there is some vulnerability that you do see from him later on in the story. But no, it's... Let's keep going. When Wallace refuses to rewrite, he's suspended from the football team and forced instead to attend rehearsals of the school play, which is Old Shep, my pal. The teacher thinks it will teach Wallace a lesson. Yeah. But he sets out to prove his point. Doesn't change his mind, but he does change the play, putting his own spin on the story. No, the English teacher comes around. His English, it's like the audience will love it, but the English teacher does in the end. With laughs and life lessons. And when a dog celebrates standing up for yourself, creative expression, and of course, dogs. But yeah, this is a better blurb than what we saw for this, because it is actually telling me something about it in there, and yeah, there is an element of vulnerability. So I will spoil this. There is more going on that I won't spoil. But the reason why he never lies is, if I remember correctly, it's been some years since I read it. His mother was divorced, and his father was a liar, and so he does not lie because he sees that as what broke up the family, that it is a bad thing. So he will never lie about anything. And there was some other stuff going on as well. Like I don't mind spoiling this, because it's just him and his mom. When there's a lot of chores that are, piling up, so it's hard for either of them to do it, the football team will actually come over and help with all of it, all the yard work. And his mom is making them food and all that. But once he's taken off the football team, they're not going to do that anymore because they aren't connected to him anymore. They don't have the need to, except for his best friend. I think it's his best friend, he's an interesting guy. Because he knows Wallace very well, and even though he at times may not like him, it's still oh yeah, I know how he thinks. I know everything about how he thinks. But anyway, the theater kids actually end up coming over to his house and doing the same thing to help out. So, and it's that's just an aspect of Wallace's character that he can inspire these people to be so helpful. But this is a good book. I do like that blurb. You could probably do some things a little bit better there, but no, it's a good book and good blurb there. So yeah, I'm a little curious. So is that yeah? No, I definitely, and it's not. I don't think it's just because of how familiar I am with this specific version, but no, this I think is better cover for it. How? There we go. Oh, okay, it's just on the ebook, but no, I this is much more evocative, I think. Anyway, especially with the dog on the back. All right, I don't remember if I talked about this one in the previous video or not, but I will now. That I actually do kind of like this cover. The blurb I didn't much care for. But yeah, since it was still there, I do like it because of the whole, you've got, the kind of fire embers in the background and then this shattering into stone, like it's a crystal breaking up. One issue that I do have is it's hard to tell, are the pieces being broken up, it's breaking up into supposed to also be the embers? That was a little hard to tell. And at least it's all the same font size, but again, I prefer, I read books, not authors, at least for fiction. For nonfiction, that can be different, but yeah, so I wish that the title were a bit larger. Which one is it? That's right, yeah. Yeah, no, I do remember the blurb, and it was not so interesting. Let's look at this one, which Barnes almost says is their book of the year. Mona's Eyes, and you've got this, which that is not the Mona Lisa, but it still is, the painting there and the eyes. It is evocative of the Mona Lisa, which everyone would know. Because of that, I would say, even though if different title, so not thinking about the Mona Lisa, I could see the somebody saying that, oh yeah, that's a this is a book for women. But Mona's Eyes, it's like maybe, because it's like you talking about the Mona Lisa, maybe there's some more here for a man. So let's look at the blurb. Faced with the possibility of losing her eyesight forever, Mona joins her beloved grandfather, an unforgettable journey shaped by art and love. Okay, I'm going to pause right there. I know there's a little bit more. That's better than whatever that other book was. Where it's like, I had no, the children's book, where I had no idea what was going on. It's like this. Okay. She's concerned, at least, about losing her eyesight, so she's going to go on a journey and try to experience everything she can before she would lose it. It's like, you're already you're telling me what the story is now. So this, I actually can care about it. It's not just a, oh yeah, isn't it nice that we have this thing here? It's like, no, what's going on? This is what's going on. With iconic masterpieces leaping off of its pages, this moving novel examines the power of imagination and the bonds between generations. Okay, I don't really feel like reading much further, but, because some of that is a bit, just the marketing stuff, but yeah, the power of imagination, I write, so I get that, but the bonds between generations, it's like, yeah, I could see this actually being good. Being quite good. So yeah, I don't feel like reading further. I want to see what Kobo and Amazon have listed. But yeah, I mean, I get it. I can get how that's it might be more so targeting women, but I could still see from what it's describing there, men potentially also enjoying it. Possibly. I don't know. I don't feel like reading further to confirm, but yeah, I could see that. All right, what do we got here? All right, well, Heated Rivalry. It's like, let's look at that. So this is a chick book. I mean, it's like how you got them kissing there. That obviously that. So yeah, this is over on Kobo. Let's look at that. Anything further down? Kirkyards and I don't know. Oh yeah, but here let me do this. Come on. Just trying to make a point here. Hey, okay, so he's holding a dagger or something in his hand. But what do you is there something? Is the guy holding something in his hand in the other one? Nope. But okay, that's a jawline. Ooh. The artist should have done that differently. Because the coloring of his hand is so similar to hers, to her neck, that it kind of looks like he has fingers coming up as well, even though you can see his knuckles in such a way he's bent like this, but then he's also got fingers coming up. No, it's her jawline. So somebody should have been like, yeah, can you just move the hand down a little bit, or just make his skin darker there? But yeah, so no, he's not actually holding something in his hand. But it's the same picture. I mean, it is. And it's even a novel. A novel. I'm sorry, but it is sad and laughable. Look, it's obviously code for women. Are women really this easily manipulated? That it's like, hey, formula, man A with woman B. Put it in this pose. That's it. Now change it to man C, woman D, and it still works. Oh my god. Let's look at these other things. Heated rivalry. Ah, shit. Turns out that's also the same picture. A spicy gay hockey romance. Nope. I got no interest. I mean, screw it. I'll at least look up. I just want to see their facial expressions. Yep. it might be hard to tell. Can I zoom in on this? No, I can't. They are both smiling, and at least the one on the right, and maybe it's because of what I already. Well, yeah, the book. The book that got me into hockey romance. What the hell, man? But anyway, at least the guy on the right. That is not just a smile of friendship or smile of rivalry. That's a, what we doing later kind of smile. So, oh shit. What's this? Labyrinth of a book, vast and intricate, full of fiendish twists and clever traps, with a deeply human heart. We might. Yeah, it's a thrilling, romantic. Okay, what kind of romantic we talking? Because there's different kinds of romantic. There's romantic like those past 3 books, and there's romantic as in idealistic. Often tragic and always funny. Okay, I just feel like pointing out that, I mean, true, that's not a synopsis. That's somebody praising it, and it's, yeah. There's a masterfully woven tale of imperial intrigue from an electrifying new voice in epic fantasy. Studying it. Okay, can you tell me about the story? Like, what is actually in there? Let's fly now to the Empire of Orun. As in, like, derived from Orrery? I mean, the Raven Scholar kind of makes some sense. 24... Where after 24 years of peace, the reign of Borison the Brusque has come to an end. In the dizzying heat of midsummer, 7 exceptional warriors, thinkers, strategists compete to replace him. One of them is murdered, falls to the Emperor's High Scholar to find the killer and fight for the throne. Nima believes she is alone, but we are here to help. All she has to do is let us in. Ah, shit. Fine. Throne is open. You have contenders for it. They will be vying against each other, vying against each other to try to get the people to allow them to become the ruler. Great. Fine. One of them is murdered. Not surprising in the least, has to be being investigated. But then it's to find the killer and fight for the throne. So does that mean that Nima is also trying to become... Is one of these competitors now? I don't know. If she was already involved in that process, then she shouldn't be the one investigating. So it's a little tangled there. But then it's also... Yeah, she believes she is alone. It's like, okay, yeah, fine. But we are here to help. Who is we? How is the reader helping? The reader's observing. I mean, what is this? Peter Pan or Never-Ending Story with Atreyu? Wait, no. No, what was the actual... It's been too long since I've seen that movie, and I've never read the book. But anyway. All she has to do is let us in, and it's just like, oh, shit. This is potentially just another romance novel. If she succeeds, she will win we will win an empire. We again. Who is we? I mean, I get connecting with the character in the story. I get that. In fact, that's one of the criticisms I have for one of the reviews that I've been working on, where things are done that make me want nothing to do with that main character. Right? So I get that. But it's still, I'm supposed to be connecting with her, so it's her victory. It's not my victory. I'm reading it. Right? And it's like, my reading it is not going to change the outcome. I don't think this is a choose your own adventure, but I mean, it's... If she fails, death awaits her. No shit. I mean, there's already murder involved. If the murderer wins, would probably kill all the competitors. And even then, whoever wins might be like, yeah, well, you tried to stop me, so... off with the head kind of stuff. I mean, but we won't let... Oh, who is we? We are the Raven, and we are meant... Let's just look at the cover. I shouldn't have started by just reading the blurb, but it's like after that hockey one, it's like, nah, let me look. Let me start reading first before I start looking at the image. Alright, I'll be honest, I don't like the amount of detail on the bird. It gets too much. It gets too frilly, like, especially in there. I mean, I get that is what it would actually look like, but you can stylize it a bit more than just stencil. Okay, you can stylize it some more, so it's not as aggressive on the page. Because it's like, where's my eye going to be drawn to? It's actually being drawn over here. Not the face of the bird, but the neck, because that's where all the feathers are. Yeah, fiendishly charming and clever. What is it? I want to know about the book. 11th of a book. That's actually not going to appeal to me necessarily, because like I don't want to get so confused by something I'm lost. With a deeply human heart, I'm obsessed. It's like that again, and it's like yeah, no. Nothing about this makes me actually want to read it. But I mean, just the Raven Scholar, Labyrinth of Workvest, and Inquitful, Fiendish Twist. I mean, you still don't tell me anything about it, but it's like I can see potential here. And then I keep reading, and it's like, nah, I got nothing. I got no interest. All right, let's look at this. What the heck is this? Yes, I have heard of K-pop Demon Hunters, but it's like, what's going on here? Because it's not the art style I would think exists for that thing. What's this? Wings of Fire. That looks like, especially now that I know it's the Scholastic thing, that looks like that's a book for kids. Family of Spies. What here makes me think anything about family or spies? I mean, true. The name is not larger than the author name is not larger than the title here with this Nash Falls. But with it being yellow versus white, it stands out a little bit better, especially being up top. And also with the white lettering having been damaged, I get how there's more energy going on there, more action there, but it still is. It's not drawing my attention because I don't see it first as words. Or as letters. I see it first as just artwork. So I then just see David Baldacci. Sorry if I got it wrong. But it's like, yeah, you're drawing my attention to the author name. I read books, not authors, for fiction at least. So yeah. Crowntide. Sure. Down here. A million times. Yeah, this is a romance book. Abso-freaking-lutely. I mean, just. Yeah, and you know what? Screw it. Let's. Men don't sit this way, okay? Even to cool off, no. Okay? No, you're not. I mean, for one thing, if he's trying to cool off, why does he not have the window open to let a breeze come in? But it's just. No, you take the shirt off entirely. No. Okay? Obviously, that's coded for women, but it's like, even as a man looking at that, it's like, no, we don't do that. What? No. We just take the shirt off entirely. But even then, I'll just mention this, sometimes it's not a great thing, because then the sweat, if there's enough air movement, it'll just stick on you. Having the shirt wicking it away can actually make you more comfortable. I am certain that this is also for women, but let's have a closer look at this anyway. It's like the crown. Okay, I mean, just the title itself is already telling me, and not even what it says, but how it's written there is already telling me it's for women. It's for women, because notice how it's rounded. All the characters are rounded there. Like, the purple is at the peak, but then goes down to gold and the lighting on one side, so it's kind of this 3D thing. But it's kind of softening it. If it were harder, if it was harsher lettering there, closer to being like a stencil, it doesn't have to be completely that. You can still do drop shadow. But if it were harder there, then yeah, it would actually be more so men are going to look at this. But look at that. No, that definitely seems softened, like would be meant for attracting a woman. The effect of the hourglass thing, I do kind of like that. Especially because it also gives us the infinity symbol. So what is going on here? I would assume that there's something to do with magic involved. We do have the crown here, and it is inside of that. We also have these rings around here. So it's like, I don't think I'd be interested in the book, but I do want to at least look at the blurb. I am curious what is going on, and is the image I'm getting in my head for this accurate? Alright, highly anticipated fourth novel, blah blah. And book talk sensation. Isla Crown. I'm stopping. So, see, if it was, I was expecting something more like that Raven Scholar, where it is somehow you're trying to get the crown, but no, it's her last name. Determined to defeat her insidious ancestor Lark, no matter the cost. Right, but Skyshade is nothing like she... Is it Lark Skyshade? Oh, okay, so those are planes! I couldn't tell from the smaller image. Okay. Are these zeros? World War II story of not... It's Nazi? Okay. Wait, what? And of Nazi espionage, betrayal, and the secret history behind Pearl Harbor. Are we in Animal House? When the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor, let him go. Such a funny scene. Full suspense. Yeah. Impulsive, never before told story of one family's shocking involvement as Nazi and Japanese spies during World War II and the pivotal role they played in the bombing of Pearl Harbor. The Nazis weren't aware of that until it happened. I'm sorry, I'm not reading it aloud. I'm just... What is this? What the hell? I'm sorry, it's just... An affair with Goebbels. And it's like, I can... this just definitely seems like fanfic. Alternate history fanfic. Especially because it is, like, tying the Nazis with... What the hell? Yeah, no, this is... He was arrested and tried. But Grandpa, you never told us the story. How do you not know about his history? Yeah. As far as when we write the narrative of December 7th, 1941, this is utterly fiction, right? I don't know. May try looking into that more earlier, but more later. But this is just... Well, here, I'll just pause the video again and do a little bit of research. If it's true, then it's like, what the hell? Because, yeah, it would be changing the narrative. But this also, as I said, this sounds like something that would be like somebody just doing a fanfic of history. So, yeah, give me a moment. Alright, no, I mean, from what I was seeing, this might actually be true. It still seems really embellished from at least that blurb. Yeah. See, I don't know, but there's also that element of, anyway, there's that element, though, that this is only a few weeks old, so if this is inaccurate, there hasn't necessarily been enough time for people to be like, yeah, no, this isn't. Or to start identifying the embellishments. I was like, I do remember back in high school, a book I had to read. It was funny, there were contradictions within the book itself, and I think later on, there had been some people that started investigating it and finding that, yeah, like half the book was actually made up or was based, even though the author portrayed it as their own story, was actually somebody else's entirely, and some of it was wrong as well. So yeah, this is, I don't know what to think about this. But I will say this, so just looking at the cover, because with the red sun there, the red circle, I'm thinking, oh, this is, Family of Spies. This is something to do with Japan, especially with the planes there. So it's like, okay, zeros. A World War II story, yeah, got that, of Nazi espionage. What? That's Betrayal and the secret history behind Pearl Harbor. As I said, my understanding is that the Nazis did not know about Pearl Harbor until it happened. That was completely a Japanese thing, and only a Japanese thing. So I don't. Maybe this is going to change that. Although, wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Because if the dude was tried, then that means that they knew about the connection. So why is it that the history is, or maybe the history is being told wrong, or just that the Nazis had very little knowledge, very little involvement? I don't know. But still, this is, I don't know, and feel like it might be best to just, if you're interested in this one, I don't know if I am. I think waiting might be a good idea to let historians potentially start weighing in to say if this, how accurate this is. I would want to know that before I start reading it myself. All right, what is this? Oh yeah, Talons of Power graphic novel. Okay, I mean, looks a little bit, just from the cover art here, it looks a little bit more childish than even this. Which, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say No More Dead Dogs is childish, but it just, yeah. It does look elementary school, whereas this, well, I think I read this in elementary school, but it might have been later elementary school. But, yeah, it looks young elementary school or younger, so, don't know. And I'm not saying that to be mean or anything, it's just that's my first impression from the image there, but let's see. For every villain, there is a hero. Not always. Turtle isn't one of the heroes he reads about in stories. If he were, he'd use his animus powers to help Pyrrha. Okay. Instead of keeping his abilities a secret, even from his own... Instead, he'd use his animus powers to help Pyrrha instead of keeping his abilities secret, even from his own sister. Got it. The pause there broke my thinking, broke my train of thought on it. Now the Darkstalker, the sinister and impossibly old dragon from Pyrrha's most notorious legends, has returned, Turtle knows his own role is simple: hide and stay hidden. Okay. I'm not the happiest with the blurb, but I will say this, from that blurb at least. But Turtle is running out of time to find one true, powerful hero dragon, which means he might have to try to save the day himself. I'm just not the happiest with that in the blurb, because it feels like you're spoiling what the ending is. Let the kid figure that out on their own. Let it just be... I would have it talk more in the blurb about he's going here, he's going there, he's going there. He's trying to find somebody, but isn't able to. So that then in the end, he is compelled to, but he leads them more naturally than just he might have to do it himself. But I will say that blurb, I could see myself definitely being like, for the example, okay, let me read this. Is this, and maybe then being like, you know what? No, I'm good with this. I'll buy this for a kid. I could see that. I could see that. I'm not seeing anything wrong, anything objectionable here for that. It does seem a little soft there that I would think much younger kid, but you know. Hang on. This is, I think, also in the same story. Yeah. Okay. Even that is a little soft there, but that's more just a general style, I feel. That this genuinely looks like the artwork for a younger cartoon, but it is also, how many years? Oh, wait, what? Oh, duh. It's a graphic novel based on a book. That's how they are coming out so rapidly next to each other. Okay. But on its own, it's like, okay. I do kind of like this artwork. Because it definitely suggests a vastness and power to this dragon, because it looks like, Starfield on his wings. It's like somehow he's at that level that aspects of existence are within his own body. It's like, yeah. One unavoidable, unpredictable destiny. This is the beginning of the end. Okay, I don't need you to hype it up quite like that. It's like even this doesn't feel as hypey. So I like that blurb better. Okay. At least now we're getting the explanation for what is meant by animus. Thousand futures unfolds, and almost all of them she knows that lead to disaster and destruction. So, I think this blurb makes me more like let me look at this more closely, than this one. So, yeah, I think, especially because it seems like this is based on, the Wings of Fire. I think I would be tempted myself to look into that. Like the original, maybe we then if I were looking to buy this with somebody, I think that's how I'd probably do it. But yeah, at least, the only concern that I have from the cover images is, and I do like this one, is it does read a little bit to me as though a very young audience, and yeah, I'm not certain. It is Scholastic. Is this Scholastic? Yeah, this is actually Scholastic. My No More Dead Dogs is Scholastic. And they, for a long time, have definitely been good for books in that, at that level. But it's also today, I've seen books not at that level that have humor in it that's stupid and very poor, very low. And I would not want a child reading that, because, no, you can read better stuff than that. So, yeah, I don't know. But at least it is I'd give this, I'd be willing to give these a shot myself. Ooh, I do like that. Sorry, just, I noticed when going between these, that Wings of Fire, sorry, I said it with an R instead. I do like that is in the exact same spot. I'm glad they're doing that, keeping that consistency there. Because we can do that. Why wouldn't you do that for the same series? All right, last one here, which is more of just a what the heck is this thing? Oh, okay. Official storybook, Little Golden Book. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now. I don't have any of those, but I know there are some in the house with that binding there and such. It's like, okay, yeah, I recognize that. By day and hundreds by night, whatever. But that's not the art style of the thing that's based on, is it? Yeah, this featuring adorable stylized artwork. This must have, I doubt it. Official storybook will entertain and excite fans of all ages. Okay. I'm just looking at some of the others here. Any better? No, because we're constantly getting different. Well, here, let's See, that makes more sense for what the actual style would be. I mean, it's like, because it's talking about posters, I would assume that this is more accurate. So this is very radically different. And I don't know, there's that part of me that I can understand softening the image somewhat if you're going from something that might be more adult to something for kids. But this just seems so extreme. I was like, how do I want to put it? I think I want to, you know what, actually, just do that. How do I want to put this? I do feel that if you have a story that you want to bring to an adult story and bring it down to children so they can enjoy it, you need to maintain a great deal of consistency, including with that visual appearance there. Because you want to basically get a lifelong fan there, okay? So you want it where, yes, the abridged for kids version, they can read it, but it's accurate, okay? But then when you, like, elementary school, there's a version for that. Middle school, there's a version there. High school, there's a version there. College, there's a version there. Where it's the same story, yes, but now the language is getting more involved. You're including more subplots that are to be intriguing. You might be including topics that you wouldn't include at a younger age. You might be doing that so that way you can maintain it going forward and have somebody being like, yes, I want to know what else happens. So that could be very interesting to do. And there's other ways you could do that as well. So I'm just thinking, what would be... Star Wars, in theory, is one that you can do something like that in. And I guess an analogy would be with Star Wars. You got the prequel trilogy, you've got the original trilogy. Those, by and large, safe for all ages. Yeah, Revenge of the Sith does get PG-13 rating, but still, let's just say safe for all ages. But imagine having Rogue One being like, no, this is PG-13, this is strong PG-13, or this is even R. Where it's like, yeah, but this is an off the main storyline. It connects to it, but it's like, have it separate. So it's like, this is you have already learned that you love Star Wars. Now you start reaching out, trying to find other things. That's what you go to. And you can read that and get more there. That's also the Extended Universe books would be an example of that as well, but I don't know those, so I've not read any of them. The only Star Wars books I've read have been the film novelizations. So, yeah. But it's just doing something like that, where it's like you would have the same kind of artwork throughout, same style. You might soften it some, but you do that because that way, as the reader, the young reader becomes an older reader, you take advantage of that. So I'm not the biggest fan of that art style, but I do understand it. I understand why they're doing that. I just disagree with it. So I can't fault it too much. But I'm just thinking, was there any story from all these that I looked at that... I think Mona's Eyes is the only one that, as I also looked at the blurb, made me think, yeah, maybe. I don't think it interests me that much, and I've got way too many stories to go through. Like, that's not even putting on a wish list. That Alchemized one, that seemed interesting enough that, yeah, I'd put that on a wish list, but, yeah. The others... Alright. That's enough of my, prattling, ranting, all that. And hey, I went through more books than the last time. And still at just under an hour. So I'm actually happy with how this has gone. So, yeah. I don't know if I will do it again in a month. Hopefully... Okay, it depends. I was going to say, hopefully in a month, I'm back to doing these sign reading videos. But I have more backlog of reviews to write than that. Especially some of these are taking a long time. So... And actually, in a month, I might still be working on those. It depends. I might also just, when I finish with the current one, stop, do assigned reading videos again, write up that review, and then go back to the backlog. I don't know. We'll see how I feel when I finish with this. But, yeah. So, yeah, I might end up doing another one of these in the future. We'll see. Anyway, see you next time.